You shouldn't have had to expect that. They should have told you, we're going to use shims and it's going to look like crap. Can you sign here, please?
So many things are wrong.
That's the sound of a homeowner who's completely disappointed after paying thousands of dollars for a countertop that she probably saved for and dreamed about, only to be left with a really botched installation job. Let's take a quick look at her story, and then I'll give you 10 ways that you can avoid a situation like this and many others.
And this beautiful large part, we still have our contractor coming here. Huge, huge, huge. But our cabinets weren't level. The installer said they could level out the counter. Cool, do what you need to do. But this is how they did it, and this is how they left it. Long slab of marble in this section right here. That's how they did it.
Installing countertops on cabinets that are not level. You'd be surprised at how often this happens. The installers go in and install the countertop, and the cabinets are not level, and so the installers have to make sure the countertop is level. So they do their job, they shim it up, but the end product looks kind of disgusting. Because everything is out of whack, you can see gaps in places where you shouldn't see gaps. It just takes a little bit of work to make sure that the cabinets are level and that they're plumbed so that they can properly accept the installation of a very expensive countertop on top of them.
Installers said, okay, we can make it level, but we're going to have you sign something.
Yeah, so no, don't ever do that. Never sign something until you see the final result and then sign off on it. Otherwise, how do you know what you're going to get? I understand. You don't know. You assume that they are going to do a very good job and do what you expect them to do. However, that's obviously just not the case.
Okay, well, this is my first time having countertops installed, and I would assume it wasn't their first time installing. I trusted them on, doing what they needed to do, but I wasn't really expecting this.
You shouldn't have had to expect that. They should have told you, we're going to use shims and it's going to look like crap. Can you sign here, please? But Mark, that's not my problem because the installers are going to do that. They're the ones who are responsible for that. True, but make it your problem to ask and to make sure that that gets done, because it doesn't get done sometimes, and you do not want to end up fighting back and forth between a contractor and a fabricator and an installer and the salesman. Whose fault is it and who has to pay for what and who's going to fix it?
They're saying that my contractor needs to level the cabinets from the bottom and support the marble.
I love when blame gets shift or responsibility gets shift from one place to the other. The installer blames the contractor blames the seller blames the homeowner blames whomever. The homeowner is the one here who's paying the money, so you have to assume that they are out of the picture here. You can't hold them responsible. I don't care what they sign, it doesn't matter to me. They're not the professionals.
The owner of the company came in today to look at the work, and he saw all the shims and everything, looked at the cabinets themselves, and he himself is going to be coming here and raising the cabinets from the bottom. So we will be all set.
Awesome. Someone took responsibility. Whether or not it's their fault directly or not, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes to make sure the homeowner gets what they paid for. So thumbs up to the Countertop company for making this right for the client at probably a cost to them, but that's a really good thing to do. That makes me happy.
This is my cabinet. It's not really, I can't really support that. It's old, built in the 50s. That's how it is.
Installing countertops on cabinets that just shouldn't have countertops installed on. Maybe you should save that money that you're putting into a very expensive marble or quartz or granite countertop and do something about those cabinets. Maybe they're unlevel. Maybe they're just decrepit and they don't deserve having a countertop installed on them. Oftentimes this conversation isn't had, and I see it over and over and over again, where a homeowner will go in and purchase a countertop, but really their cabinets, something needs to be done. Maybe you can't afford to have all new cabinetry, but you do need to address the fact that installing beautiful brand new countertops on old decrepit cabinets, that's just not the way to go. Maybe you're just eager to make a sale, maybe you just don't care, I don't know. I'm not saying that happens. It does happen though. It just does. And so if you're out there selling countertops, don't do that to your clients. Make sure that the cabinets that these beautiful countertops are going on deserve it. Now the rest of these mistakes are not directly related to this job, but you definitely want to make sure that they don't happen to you. So pay attention. Oh, and subscribe if you like the content so far. Thanks. Not thinking about the resale value is a very bad mistake, because you might love your new stainless steel countertops or your poured concrete countertops, But if you're planning to sell that house, wrong decision, because most of the homeowners out there are not looking for those types of materials, and so you're not going to get a good ROI on that investment, and it'll probably hurt the ability to sell that house with that type of countertop. I have two methods of thinking when it comes to this. On one point, it's like, it's my kitchen, so I'm going to do what I want, and I think that's important. You should absolutely put in the countertop that you want and that you love. Regardless, if someone buys the house later on, they can change it. But also, if you are trying to sell the house and that's something that you're thinking of down the road, then maybe it might be a good idea to put in a countertop that future person is going to say, ooh, I'd like to buy this house because, I mean, look at this kitchen. What material that is up to debate. Most likely it's going to be quartz. However, just do some research about what type of countertops are most consumers looking for when they're purchasing a home, and then, choose accordingly. Not considering your lifestyle is kind of an issue. If you need to have countertops that are absolutely heat resistant, you do a lot of high temperature, high heat cooking, and you don't want to worry about if something does happen on these beautiful new countertops that you paid a lot of money for, then I suggest you do a little bit of research to understand which countertops can take high heat and which countertops cannot. I just really want marble. Why? Well, it's just so beautiful and I love it and I can afford it. Awesome. And, oh, by the way, we always have friends over and we sit around the island and we drink a lot of wine. That's probably not the best solution for a countertop for you. Think about your lifestyle, how you use your kitchen, and then choose appropriately. If you drink a lot of wine in your kitchen and you need something that's going to resist stains, then you need to pick a material that can withstand that. Not considering the seams is a problem sometimes. You as the consumer, the homeowner, the client, you go in, you look at the beautiful countertop, it's going to look gorgeous, but you don't consider the seams, and that's an issue. Someone should talk to you about the seams, but they don't, and then you get your countertop installed, you have a seam maybe where you weren't expecting one, or you have a seam and the two pieces don't match and it looks very obvious and it's very disappointing. Get them to show you what that's going to look like, what the end product is going to be like, so there's no surprises, or at least the least amount of surprises when you get that thing installed. Not getting enough quotes. If you just go to one place and get one quote, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go to 3 or 4 or 5 different places and get a quote on that material. A lot of times these big box stores especially buy from the same vendors. And so if you get 2 quotes from a big box store, a Lowe's and a Home Depot, you can use those to kind of negotiate a better deal on your countertop. There's always room in the margin for a little bit of a discount, and so make sure you ask for it and get as many quotes as possible to get the best price, but also don't just get the lowest price. Make sure you're getting the best value. Make sure you're understanding everything that they're quoting you, because it's never apples to apples. Oftentimes, 2 different companies can quote a little bit differently. So make sure you understand what is included in those quotes, what is the square footage pricing of that material. Then you have enough ammo to get the best deal out there, and making sure at the same time that you're getting a very good product. Picking your flooring first. Don't do that. Pick your countertop first. Why? Well, I'm glad you asked. I would rather my flooring complement my countertop than my countertop have to complement my flooring, because the countertop is a very important integral part of your kitchen design, the style, the functionality. It's very important. Flooring is too, but forget flooring for a minute. Think about the countertop for a second. It's very important for the overall look of your kitchen. It's where all of the work happens. It's where all the prep, it's where everything goes on the countertop. That's why there's so much importance on, whether or not it's stain resistant and scratch resistant and heat resistant and nuclear bomb resistant. So there's a lot of emphasis goes into the countertop, and for that reason I think it's more important that you choose that material first and then choose a flooring of whatever type and style that you want that complements the countertop. Make sure you consider your kitchen style. Yes, you want a very veiny, marbly, one-piece backsplash, but if it's not going to fit the style of your home or the style of the rest of the space, it might not be the best idea for you. So yes, you've seen it on Instagram or YouTube or somewhere, and it looks beautiful in that picture, but it might not be the right thing for your home. So consider the rest of the style and maybe get some help from an interior designer when you're making those kind of decisions, especially with a material that is very pricey like marble, quartz, or granite. You want to make sure that you include the rest of your home and the overall style of that space into the decisions you're making with your countertop. Not setting a budget can be a problem because there's a wide variety of prices out there, and you might have an idea of, I want something that's heat resistant and scratch resistant and blowtorch resistant and you name it resistant, and maybe that material is going to cost you maybe $120 a square foot. But your budget is really $50 a square foot or $80 a square foot, and it's important that you understand the differences between all those materials and what your budget will allow. So you can figure this out pretty easily. So let's say your budget is $5,000. So then measure all of your countertops to get an idea of how many square feet is involved. Once you understand how many square feet is involved, divide it into your budget, and it's going to give you a per square foot pricing of what you should then go and look for if you want to purchase countertops. This gives you a rough estimate that you can play with. It's not going to be exact because you have to take into consideration the cuts, the seams, the edge details, and a few other factors like that. But this gives you a good starting point to say, oh, I'm in the $50 to $80 range, or I'm in the $100 to $120 range, or I'm in the sky's the limit range. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's important that you understand the budget. So get the square footage of your countertop. Then you have some good information when you're shopping for countertops that you can be looking at things where you're not going to be disappointed when you see the price. Not knowing the differences between materials is a very big mistake. If you think just they're all the same, you're wrong. So it's important to educate yourself a little bit on the differences between maybe quartz and granite or porcelain or acrylics or laminates, whatever it is. I have some great videos in this playlist that'll help you do just that. Check them out if you're interested in figuring out what the difference is between granite and quartz, or what is this decked-in material that everyone talks about, or porcelain, what's the deal with that? A lot of great videos. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.